The Cleveland Cavaliers just pulled off a huge trade. The one we wanted. Georges Niang and Caris LeVert are going out of town. And DeAndre Hunter is what the Cavaliers got back in return. Welcome to Cavs Digest. This is why you subscribe. This is why you tune in. Breaking news for the Cavaliers as they acquire DeAndre Hunter from the Atlanta Hawks for Georges Niang and Caris LeVert. We're going to go through the trade. We're going to go why it's a steal, a fleece. We took it from the Hawks. We took advantage of their situation. We are winners. We are go-getters. So the Cavaliers went and made it happen. Shout out Koby Altman. We'll go through that and more in just a second. Man, I'm smiling because I don't have to watch Georges Niang ever again. I'm smiling because the Cavaliers went all in. They went for it. What a time to be a part of Cavs Digest as we're going to break down the trade in just a second. I'm pumped. This really happened over 2 days. I don't think we ever discussed DeAndre Hunter here, and Chris Fedor reported it yesterday. Full swing, and here we are. The Cavs get the trade done. So, again, what a time to be subscribed, be in the comments. Let's celebrate together, Cavs fans. And if you're really upset about Niang and if you're really upset about LeVert, go ahead and leave a comment. You know, I feel like a lot of people were okay with LeVert leaving. I had some back and forth on Niang, but no more talk about that. He's gone. Georges Niang does not play for the Cleveland Cavaliers anymore. The Cavs fleeced the Hawks. They got their 3-and-D wing. They got him. I've heard a gazillion names. I've heard how badly they need a wing. I've heard he's not a wing, that guy's not a wing, over and over and over. We can rest. We will rest as Cavs fans now, knowing we got our wing. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. The Cavaliers bringing in DeAndre Hunter. Shams breaks the news. The Cavs trade Caris LeVert and Georges Niang along with 3 second-round picks and 2 pick swaps with the Atlanta Hawks. If you don't know ball, if you don't know pick swaps, just means the Hawks will have the option to trade with the Cavaliers in the future for their picks to say, okay, your pick's better than mine, we're swapping, vice versa. And, you know, we knew LeVert would be a part of this trade. We really did, and I knew these teams I've seen on Twitter, and the Cavaliers may not be done. There's still time. There's still an hour left in the trade deadline. That'll be another video if needed. But they made it happen. They got their wing. They got their man. DeAndre Hunter is awesome. He's awesome. And if you don't remember, he was the 4th pick in the 2019 NBA draft. He was 1 pick ahead of Darius Garland. 1 pick ahead. And years later, the Cavaliers now have Garland and Hunter to pair together. And you say to yourself, well, I don't really know where that stands. That's the future is what it is. As we look at DeAndre Hunter's contract, I had to double look this up. You got this year. You got next year. You got the year after. You got your 3-and-D wing. You got your man. And you got rid of 2 players. 1 was expiring. And we can do a farewell for Caris LeVert here in just a second, but there's a certain additive here, folks, ladies and gentlemen, for Georges Niang being gone for me. Unplayable in the playoffs. If you watch this channel, you know I have said it. He cannot play in the NBA playoffs. The term Atkinson likes to use, and some reporters, is it differs from series to series. It does not, because I watched Georges Niang against the Magic, unplayable, and I watched him against the Celtics, unplayable. Not playable, and I'm sick and tired of watching him getting blown by threes, blown by fours, over and over again, dominating him, out-muscling him, out-shooting him, running circles around him. No more. I'm done. You cannot force me to watch any more Georges Niang on my basketball team. Perhaps that is the true win of the day, right? For me personally. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm going too much in on Georges Niang. For Caris LeVert, expiring contract. He was one of the pieces Brian Windhorst listed for the Cavaliers. He was number 1, an expiring contract, an exciting player for a team. You know, the Hawks can actually bring Caris LeVert in and not feel like the season's lost. You know, he's a pro, he's a vet, he's a scorer. So he'll actually be fine next to Trae Young, and maybe they bring him back. I don't know. That's none of my business. My business lies with DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter, terrific stuff from him. Man, great numbers. Again, he's going to have to take a lesser role. He is a 3-and-D wing, but so much excitement right now on Cavs Twitter getting him, and he's just had such a good season. The Cavaliers undoubtedly, I like that line at the end on this tweet, they got better. That's what happened here today. The Cleveland Cavaliers got better, right? Already a terrific record, 41-10, top of the Eastern Conference, top of the NBA, I believe, still so far, and they got better. It seemed tough to do. It seemed like they were set. It seemed like they may just go luxury tax, right? That they would work luxury tax. I'm pretty sure, I need to double check, but I think they did that too today. But the 41-10 Cleveland Cavaliers got better. Taking advantage of the Hawks situation, dumping players that weren't doing much for them, getting their dream additive to this roster, a 3-and-D wing locked up for multiple years. This is very Cleveland Guardians. Very Cleveland Guardians. This is Lane Thomas. I feel like this is Lane Thomas in basketball. Explain it to me in baseball terms. It's Lane Thomas, right? You got your guy to help you in a playoff run, and then you got years in front of it. I know Lane Thomas is in the final year of his deal, but what a trade for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, just really, really excited for them. And that starting lineup is gorgeous. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. All in, baby. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted your basketball team to prove to you, your GM to prove to you that he felt like he's seen what you're seeing and that he's not going to sit on his hands and hope things change. I know some people told me to relax. Some people told me to calm down. And look, Isaac Okoro and Dean Wade are still on the team, by the way, which makes the Cavaliers deep as hell. But Koby Altman clearly felt something after that Celtics loss. And I think he felt what I felt, which was time and time again against great teams, they're missing a piece. They're missing something that would really make the difference. And it is DeAndre Hunter, for me. Trade deadline not here yet. I'm not sure right now what the Cavaliers have left to do, if they want to move Okoro, if they want to move Dean Wade. First question I was asked from a friend is, does DeAndre Hunter start? I believe so. He's the perfect 3-and-D. He is the ideal 3-and-D. I mean, right? He is that wing that you've talked about for years, 6'8", 27 years old, defense first, then shooting threes, a reliable three-point shooter at right around almost 39%. I got to take a breath. I got to sit back. I got to relax. I'm just loving being a part of this. First off, leave some comments about Georges Niang. If I'm overdoing it, fine. But I have for 2 years, upon acquiring Georges Niang, shouted from the rooftops that he shrinks in the playoffs. He's unplayable in playoff basketball. And then once I got it on paper, once I got that eye test too, was done with him right away. For Caris LeVert, really fun player. That's my overall description of him. That's my final description of him. For the Cavaliers, they fleeced him. They got him. This was a huge trade for the Cavs. They got their 3-and-D wing, and what did they do? They dumped contracts and handed over some second-round picks and what they believe will be late first-round pick swaps in the future. Look, most NBA trades get done with swaps now. It's really not that big a deal. Drop down in the comments. Let's rejoice, and if there's more to come for the Cavaliers, you'll hear about it here on Cavs Digest.